Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Warrior Way. Today, I'm going to talk about boredom. I think that's a big one for us on our spiritual journeys, especially for me. I started this journey, as I mentioned, 3 years ago, maybe more, 3.5 years. I don't even know. Time becomes kind of funny when you're on this journey. Like days can feel like weeks. Sometimes weeks can feel like days. Hours can feel like minutes, but minutes can feel like decades. I mean, it's like expanding, contracting, and so it's hard to tell. But during the day, you start to realize you have so much time because you get rid of the nonsense that really is meaningless. So meaningless conversations become less. People that are caught up in running around, you're not really going to be spending time with them because they're too busy running and you're too busy staying in one place. They can't handle your stillness, so they will leave you. And places you used to go to, like I used to, go to bars or watch ball games, things like I would go to clubs, and I like dancing, so I still sometimes have that urge to go and dance places, and I've gone here and there. I'm talking about every few months now. I'll go somewhere, but I really dance by myself because the places that I go to, they're not really for me anymore. I don't feel Doesn't feel the same as it used to feel. It doesn't feel as inviting as it once did for me because I've just outgrown it. I'm not better than anybody that's there. I have a lot love for those places and for those people, so much love. Um, but I'm not chasing the same things. I'm not drinking. I'm not drugging, if that's a word. I'm not chasing women. I'm not looking for new friends. I mean, I am in a sense, but not really looking for friends. I'm just waiting for the people that are aligned with me to come around. And I've met here and there, people here, people there. Um, but when the right people come at the right time in the right places, it'll all align in God's timing. Divine timing is a funny thing when you're dealing with this aspect of boredom because you wake up in the morning. I'm excited. I have like a routine in the morning. I do my thing. I have a whole thing with meditation and prayer, and it gets me, and it's exciting as you wake up to do these things. And then during the day, I have different things I do, and then it still hits you like when you don't have as many people around or anybody around really. When I don't have my children with me, especially, or part of my day is with my children. Half the time I'm with them, so the other half the time I used to travel a lot, and the reason I used to travel to Miami, and I was grateful to have an apartment I was able to use for a period of time, a family apartment, and I was very grateful for that time to just be able to be in the warm weather, to go to the beaches, to spend time in warm climate, and then I was also, and then when I stopped doing that about a year ago, I still was traveling here and there. I was taking a lot of road trips, going to different places that way. And then all of a sudden, I started realizing I didn't need any of that. I don't need to go anywhere. It's all here. It's all right here. Whether it's cold, whether it's hot, I still managed to go outside. And when it's not freezing here. It's cold with a lot of wind. So, but I spend some time outside, and I still do it to be outside, to appreciate nature, to sit with the boredom. I sometimes sit in my car and listen to some things on YouTube, or I'll just sit in the car, or I take a walk. And I have had to learn to appreciate the boredom. I've told many people, maybe I've said it on here, that if you're bored, you're rich, because if only rich people could be bored. Because if you're, in a sense, if you need food or if you need shelter, you're not really bored because you're constantly looking. Like you'll be looking for food, you'll be looking for a place to live, you'll be looking for those things. So if you have those things, to be grateful for the boredom, and I'm really grateful for the boredom. That doesn't mean sometimes I don't seek out to do things. And it's funny, today I went on Eventbrite, and it was literally glitching on me every time I pressed on something I thought, oh, I'll do this. It was not letting me open it up. And after 3 times doing that, I realized, like, the universe is telling me something. The universe is saying, stop. It's okay. Let it go. I know some of you guys who are listening to this may be feeling of this at this particular time, that like there's an itchiness. There's like this feeling of like having to do, and the universe may be telling you to stop. I know the universe is telling me like, hey, chill. Maybe make a video for YouTube for people that are in that situation, that are going through this at this particular time. I just, I wasn't sure if I was going to come on today at all, to do a video, because I was just in my own zone, going moment to moment, and then it hit me that no, I should really talk about this because this is what I'm feeling at this particular moment, and there may be others that are feeling this energy as well. It's kind of a lull situation, like you know, you sit in the mystery, and it's exciting because you know beautiful things are going to happen throughout my day. Like I took on my walk earlier. I walked past this guy who was wearing a Yankees shirt, and I actually didn't know if the Yankees were in the playoffs or not. So I was like, "Hey, like, how's it going? I like your shirt. Are the Yankees in the playoffs?" And he's like, "No, they never didn't make it." I'm like, "Oh, usually my brother would tell me. He didn't tell me, so I didn't even know he was. They were not in it." Um, and I happened to be wearing a Rangers hat, so I said to him, so I said, "Oh, I'm wearing the Rangers hat because the hockey started." So it was just a nice conversation. So you never know really what's going to happen when you go moment to moment, taking things as they come. You go for walks, you go out to nature, you sit inside, you create. In the cold weather, it gives you the opportunity to be inside, to maybe draw, to write. I write poetry every day, but I write that in the morning. But maybe I'll write some more. Sometimes I would write in the middle of the day. I stopped doing that recently, but maybe I'll get back to that. Maybe I'll get into maybe some painting. Things that are kind of indoor activities as opposed to always being outside. But of course, it's the in and out for me. It's like going in, going out, going in and out, and that kind of gets me back into the situation of like people that the reason why it's so hard to be bored is because I was programmed for so long that in order to feel good about myself, I have to accomplish, I have to do things. Even with this YouTube channel, like when I first started, it was very hard for me not to reach out to people this time to tell everyone about my YouTube page. I didn't tell really anybody. Over time now, I started telling people, one person here, one person there, but not really. Most of my family members don't even know my YouTube page at this particular time, even because I didn't send a text message out. I didn't send it out because I realized it's not about accomplishing. It's not about a goal. It's about trying to be authentic, to be real, to spread messages of being real, of being yourself, of not needing validation from other people. Even though it is nice to get the validation, no question about it, but you have to validate yourself and know that you are good where you are, even in your boredom, even in your stillness, and actually especially in your stillness. And something I had to learn that in order for me to do this for real, I had to be really still and to write from the place of my heart and to share from the place of my heart and to pause from the place of my heart. And I want to give over that I feel you. I feel people. I feel the energy of what's going on. There's a lot going on in the world. From what I gather, I don't, as I mentioned, why I haven't watched the news in a very long time, but sometimes the videos that I've seen they'll sprinkle in some things that are going on, whether it's I just heard that whether it's with politics or whether it's with UFOs, whether it's with peace in the world. I find out it's amazing. Like people say, how do you know? Well, you find out. Like whether it's your neighbor, whether it's a video, and somehow, some way, you seem to know what's going on, and you could sense it in what's going in the collective energy that's going on. And but I'm so grateful to be in the space of love and to be in place of peace. The more peace that's going on in the world, I keep on sending out more and more peace, and I'm sending out peace to you. And I want you to spread that message too. That spread the message of peace and love for yourself and for others, and to raise this energy that we have going, as we're heading in a really beautiful direction from what I gather, from what I feel, from what I gather from others. That if you stay in this heart-centered, loving place, good things are going to come for you. I know that I could sit in the mystery now as day in and day out. Because when you start to see God in every single moment, you understand how this works when you're co-creating. You're co-creating, but you could sit back and realize you already did the co-creation. Everything already happened. I was listening to a video earlier where it was talking about 10 years from now. I'm like, 10 years from now? It's time to think about 10 years from now. Just be here now. And the reason they were saying 10 years is because actually not because of 10 years, but because of the way time works is not the way we think of time is a linear way of thinking of time, but really time, it can, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it constricts and it expands based on how present we are in a certain way and how we view things. So it's perception because time and space isn't really real. It's relatively real. So it's also the idea of being bored for a certain period of time. Like it's amazing because you could sit with it, and the longer you could sit in the silence and sit with the feeling, the more beautiful it becomes because you can sit in a room like I'm looking now. There's a plant sitting right in front of me. I'm looking at the plant. I'm like, It's beautiful. And then I'm looking at all the pictures around my room, and I have a lot of them in this room. And then I'm looking out the window, and I see the clouds moving. There's dark clouds, there's light clouds, there's trees, and there is so much to appreciate in the stillness. And I've learned to do that. I learned to do it more and more. I learned to appreciate the stillness and the boredom, and to be thankful for the boredom. If I'm like I'm satiated, a roof over my head, I'm warm, so grateful. There are people in this world that don't have that at this current moment. I'm sending love and light to them, not sending love and light to you, and just pass along that message to whoever needs it, whoever you know might be going through something right now. Just send that message to them. Sending you light and love, and have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.